Hey everybody, today we're going to be looking at 3.2, where we're going to take polynomials, add them, subtract them, and multiply them. We won't do division today. Division will be a different unit or section. So today we're looking at multiplying polynomials. For these first ones, all we're asked to do is simplify here. So one of the biggest struggles I see with students is when they get to a place and we ask them to simplify, and they're not quite sure what they need to do. Um, if you just see some numbers that can be combined, like on this first one here, all you need to do is start combining stuff that are like terms. So for example, I can do 5 minus 4. 5 minus 4 is 1. And then again, there's an invisible like multiplication thing going on here. So this is 7. Okay. Here, there's no terms to combine. Okay. But what I can do is I can take this negative 1 and distribute. Okay, and we'll be looking at some other methods for distribution a little bit later today. Plus 7, okay, because the negative times the negative gives me a positive. Okay, the other common thing I see that freaks students out is when it's not in the right order. Okay, remember, multiplication is commutative. Whenever a student sees something like number 3, I say, okay, well, what's 2 times 3? And then they look at me and like I'm insulting them. Go ahead and do it. And then they say 6. Okay, well, what's 3 times 2? Also 6. Okay, great. So did it matter the order for multiplication? And the answer is no. Okay, as long as that multiplication is happening first. Okay, so I'm just going to switch this. Okay, then I'm going to distribute. Okay, now something to note here is we're not in that standard form. So it is good to always try to get into standard form, especially when you're simplifying. So let's take this again, addition the same way, right? 5 plus 6 is 11. 6 plus 5 is also 11. Okay, so I can switch these as long as I keep the parts together. Okay, and then on this last one, again, combine like terms. So 14R minus 4R is just going to be 10R. Okay, so a lot of it today is going to come down to combining like terms and then distributing. Honestly, if you can do those two things, you're probably going to be pretty set today. So for this first one, and with adding and subtracting, there's two ways that students like to do it. I'm going to do it both ways. I'm going to show you and then you just need to do the way you like. Again, I want you to be comfortable with math. If you find another way online that works better for you, feel free to use that. Okay, again, I may ask you to show me how you did it, just to make sure you really understand what's going on, but if it works for you, it works for you. Okay, so the vertical format is where we take things, we put one on top, one on the bottom, kind of like back in old grade school when you had like 2 plus 3. Okay, except now we've got more parts. The important key here is to make sure that we line up those parts so they make sense. Okay, so I'm going to do 3x squared, or 3x cubed, plus 2x squared, minus x, minus 7. I'm going to add to that x cubed, minus 10x squared. Okay, now this is the important part. I don't have an x term on the second one. There's no x term. So because there's no x term, I'm going to leave that spot blank. I'm just going to leave a blank there, and I'm going to put the 8 under the 7. Okay, and then I'm just going to add each part. So negative 7 plus 8 is going to be positive 1. Negative x plus nothing is negative x. 2x squared minus 10x squared minus 8x squared. 3x cubed plus 1x cubed, the invisible 1, 4x cubed. Okay, and there's my answer, done. Okay, the horizontal one does the same kind of idea. Let me add a little bit of space here so I can do this one a little bit easier. Whoa, that's weird. Okay, and the reason that some students like this method better, the horizontal, is because they get to use lots of colors, or shapes and squares. I'm going to use colors here, but shapes, squares, circles, triangles work just as well. Okay, so I'm going to underline things that are the same term. So here, and let's rewrite this. So 9y cubed plus 3y squared minus 2y plus 1. Okay, let's put that in parentheses. Anytime we add or subtract or multiply, we want to put those in parentheses. And you'll see why, especially with subtraction. Minus 5y squared plus y minus 4. Okay, I'm going to take all the y cubes and I'm going to underline them in blue. Okay, so there's a y cubed and that's it. I'm going to take all the y squareds and underline them in purple. I'm going to take all the y's, underline them in orange. And then I'm going to take all the constants and we'll do this light blue. Okay, so we're kind of doing the same thing that we did before in the above problem, but, sorry, excuse me. This time we're going to be taking them and adding them just this way. Okay, so I'm going to do all the blues first. So I got 9y cubed. For purples, I've got a 3y squared and then minus 5y squared, so I'm going to end up with minus 2y squared. For oranges, I've got a minus 2y plus a y, so I'm going to end up with a minus 1y or just y. And then for the light blues, plus 1 minus 4 minus 3. Okay. Again, doesn't matter to me which one you do, just pick one and stick to it. Okay, same idea here, but I do need to be careful because now I'm subtracting. Give myself a little space here. There we go. Okay, so I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna switch back to a default color. Again, leaving those spaces for ones that are missing, if I have any. So 2x cubed plus 6x squared minus x plus 1, 8x cubed minus 3x squared minus 2x plus 9. And I am subtracting these. Okay, this is important that I am subtracting these. Okay, so let's do this one by one. 2 minus 8 minus 6, x cubed. This is where it gets tricky. 6 minus minus. Negative negative gives me a positive. So really I'm doing 6 because negative negative plus 3. So it's going to be plus 9x squared. Again, same thing here. Minus 1 because that invisible 1. Minus minus plus 2. So it's going to be a plus 1. 1 minus 9 minus 8. Okay, so again, the biggest thing to be careful of here is that you are doing the minus minuses as pluses. Okay, same idea here. And then again, putting in parentheses. Anytime you do it in the horizontal format, you do want to make sure you're using those parentheses. Minus, especially when you're subtracting, 2z so I put the line through them, squared plus 3z. Okay. Now, what you want to do on these, and the easiest one, best way to do these is to distribute that negative. So I'm going to take the negative and I'm going to apply it to both of these. So I'm going to rewrite it. Keeping the first side in parentheses. I'm taking that negative, I'm distributing it, so now it's a positive negative 2z squared minus 3z. Okay, and then I would do it just like I did on the last problem where I'm highlighting with the same colors. Those are z squares. There's a z, and there's a number. Okay, and then I'm just adding because that's what we're doing now. So 3z minus 2z is just going to be z squared. Z minus 3z minus 2z, and then minus 4. Okay, honestly, for most students, I find most success with the vertical format in both cases. Okay, but again, it's up to you on how you want to do it. Doesn't matter to me. Okay, so this is just some more practice. You do these, in whatever format you prefer. Okay, multiplication. Now, multiplication can be done in the horizontal and vertical format. Okay, horizontal format is where you take it and you do the rainbow method or distributing. Okay, if you love that, if you are good with distributing, if you are good with taking, for example, on this one, negative x squared plus 2x plus 4, and then multiply x minus 3, and you're good with doing the rainbow or distributing, then that's fine. Feel free to do that. Okay. I highly, highly recommend, though, that you use the box method. The reason the box method is nice, right now we have 6 terms that we will produce. 6 terms is not too bad, but as soon as you start getting into 3 times 3s or 3 times 4s or 4 times 4s, you start getting more and more and more terms. As you get more terms, becomes more and more likely that you are going to miss one. If I'm doing the box, okay, and in this case it'd be a 3 by 2 box, I'm going to take x minus 3, negative x squared, 2x, 4. If I'm doing the box method, you're not going to miss any, because if you're missing one, there's an empty box. And if you have an empty box, you should probably put something in that box. Okay, so I find that students are less likely to miss terms if they use this method. Okay, can other things happen? Yes, but those are pretty common regardless of the method you use. The most common mistake I see is students missing terms, especially on when you're multiplying larger sets. Okay, so I'm going to take this one, multiply it, the negative x cubed, this one, multiply it, 2x squared, here, 4x, here, negative times a negative gives me that positive 3x squared, here, minus 6x, here, minus 12. Okay, then I'm going to add all these up, combining like terms. Okay, so using the same idea, and colors work really well here. I have an x there, or x cubed there. I have x squared here. I have x's here, and I have just a number here. So then negative x cubed, combining these two, it's going to be 5x squared. Combining these two, it's going to be minus 2x. And then for the last one, minus 12. Okay. Same process on this one. I'm going to give you the setup, but you should be able to do it at this point. Okay, again, you've seen these before. You should have seen these last year. We did some of them in the last unit. 3y squared minus 2y plus 2. Okay, multiply, multiply, multiply. Okay, add up, combining like terms. Okay, now the one extra thing you may need to do, and again, we're not going to do it in the horizontal format. The one extra thing you may need to do is to multiply several terms together. So I have x minus 1, x plus 4, x plus 5. Okay, now unfortunately, unless you're really good about thinking in 3 dimensions, you have to do this 2 at a time. So I'm going to look at just this first part first. Okay, I'm going to ignore the x plus 5 for right now and come back and bring it back. Okay, so I'm going to do x minus 1, x plus 4, x squared, negative x, 4x, minus 4, x squared, plus 3x, minus 4. Okay, now all of this is still times that x minus 5. So I'm bringing that x minus 5 back, or x plus 5 back, and I'm going to do the exact same thing that we did on the last one. I'm going to take it, plug it in, 2 by 3 here, x 5, x squared, 3x minus 4, x cubed, these two, 3x squared, x and negative 4, negative 4x, 5x squared, 15x, minus 20. Combine like terms, we get x cubed plus 8x squared. 15x minus 4x is going to be 11x minus 20. Okay, and there's my answer. Okay, so again, especially on these ones, I would definitely take the time and just do the box. Okay, again, the box, you're not going to miss any terms. The most common mistake I see on these problems is students forgetting a term, and it's going to throw your whole answer off. Okay, a good way to check this would be to take this, put it into Desmos, take this, put it into Desmos. If you get the same line, you're good. So let's do that really quick. Doesn't take but a second. So I'm going to do x minus 1, x plus 4, x plus 5, x minus 1, x plus 4, x plus 5. Okay, and then we're going to take our second function here, so x cubed. Okay, so similar shape, just, more wonky. Adding those extra stuff is going to make it the wonky. Plus 8x squared plus come on, plus 8x squared plus 11x. Okay, getting closer. Minus 20. Okay, have the same line. It's the same function. I'm good to go. Okay, so that's all you need to do for this section. Fairly okay section. The adding is pretty easy. The big thing to check on those minuses is that you're distributing that negative, okay, or subtracting, and that double negative, negative gives me a positive. And then for multiplication, again, feel free to use distributing or rainbow method if you prefer it. But again, once we get to factoring especially, it's going to be better if you are already kind of getting in practice of using it for factoring for that box method. Okay. Again, if you are struggling, please make sure you're stopping in for RTI Fridays. And I will see you next time.